Hey everybody, this is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for another devotional. Now today listed below, you're going to see 55 incredible details about the crucifixion of Jesus. And today I want to invite you to read through these details and take a long look at the violence of the cross. You know, it seems today that people have this growing aversion to violence for some reason. Most want to turn away from it or maybe even deny that it happens in our world. And some, I know, even have trouble looking at the cross of Christ. In fact, I do know believers and teachers and theologians that suggest we should really rethink the violence of the cross. But I really think this is because they've made a lot of wrong assumptions about things like total depravity, true love, and perfect justice. Now, one of the wrong assumptions that many make when they look at any act of violence is that someone genuinely innocent is on the receiving side of that act, that the victim was an innocent sufferer. And yes, sometimes people in this life are going to suffer the unrighteous actions of some other person. But the Bible also teaches that no one is innocent. No one, zero, nada. The great apostle Paul said in Romans 3:23, for all, that's everybody, has sinned, missed the mark, and fall short of what? The glory of God. That we just can't reach that glory any longer because, well, we have made mistakes that remove us from the reaches of that glory. This means that we are all complicit when it comes to sin and the suffering that goes with it. We are all guilty of crimes against God that result in suffering. And Jesus tried to explain this to us in the greatest sermon he ever preached, in the Sermon on the Mount. In Matthew chapter 5, he stated, "You have heard it was said," in other words, your legal officials have said to those of old, "You shall not," what? "Murder. And whoever murders is liable to judgment. But I say to you," now this is Jesus's remarks on that old statement, "but I say to you that everyone who is angry with his brother will be liable to judgment. Whoever insults his brother will be liable to the council. And whoever says, 'You fool,' will be liable to" what? Hell of fire, by the way. So Jesus's point is that mankind loves to do this one thing. They love to draw lines on our acceptable limits of what we consider violence. We will always draw them too, short of our guilt, because, well, we want to see ourselves as innocent people, right? But we fail to realize that when we think or we feel or we speak with violence, we're actually perpetuating violence too. This means that there's no such thing as an innocent sufferer. We have all murdered others, Jesus says, with our thoughts and our feelings and our words. Yet, as soon as I say that there's no such thing as an innocent sufferer, I too am wrong, because there was one and only one, Jesus. 2 Corinthians 5, verse 21 reads, "For our sake he made him to be sin, who knew no sin, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God." Love those words there. So today, I want you to read through this long list of details about the crucifixion of Jesus. And remember, as you read them, you're looking at the world's only truly innocent man. Watch him suffer. Look long at the violence on the cross. Experience the thoughts and the feelings and the words and the actions of sinful humanity that resulted in this act of brutality and violence. And remember, our sin put him there. And then after you have reflected on this for a while, transition to a new thought. The Bible teaches that at this moment in history, when Jesus is being crucified, what we see transpire on the cross is not merely a deliberate act of human violence. Behind the mortal veil, the human veil, into the spiritual realm, God is orchestrating this moment. He is offering his sinless son as a sacrifice to remove the sin that put Jesus there in the first place. He is using our sin as an instrument of his love to heal the divide between him and us. And that's what makes this moment so glorious today. 1 John 4, verse 10 reads like this. This is real love. Real love. Not that we loved God, but that he loved us and sent his son as a what? A propitiation, a sacrifice to take away our sins. And that is what you're going to read below. Enjoy it, fellas. I pray this blesses you. If it has, share it with someone else, and I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.